All right, Alex, you ready to learn some drivability?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, here we go. A little history lesson here. All right, so pay attention. So today we have a 2012 Ford Focus here that has an issue where every time they go to the gas station to fill up gas, everything's fine. They need to fill up the tank. They go to fill it up, and the darn thing has a hard start or no start situation for a good couple minutes. They start it up, finally get it started. They take off, down the road they go, and everything's fine again until the next time they fill up the gas. Weird situation, right?
Yeah.
Now, back in the day, we're talking 90s, maybe 80s, stuff like that, the electric fuel pumps in the tank, the very early ones, they're more prone to failure. What would happen is you would get the tank so warm, the pump so warm, and it would get so low in there, you go to fill it up, it would shock the pump with the new cold fuel from the underground tanks, and it would sometimes cause a no-start situation. The pump would not come on. That's back in the day. Starting in 09 and newer Fords, most models, they started using a new style canister purge valve that is there in the evap system to recirc, to bring in vapors from the tank and bring them into the intake and burn them to keep the tank nice and even back there, okay? So in 09, they changed to a new, more compact style that was prone to sticking open. On the smaller 4-cylinders in 11 and newer, they started using another style canister purge valve that looks a little something like this. And these also stick. Imagine that. So what happens is this gets stuck open all the time. It should be closed at all times until commanded on. And it's drawing constant as engine vacuum, and it's constantly drawing a vacuum on the tank, which eventually will pull fuel up through there, lots of vapors. So you may get rich codes, you may get lean codes, you may get O2s that are stuck rich, all kinds of stuff. But the one code that you will get almost every time, you can see here, we have some mileage on here, but it doesn't matter. These are failing way back when they were under warranty, 20, 30,000 miles. Here we go. So the one code that you will always get, it seems, is going to be a 1450, which basically means it's unable to bleed up the fuel tank vacuum. Why? Because it's constantly being fed vacuum by that canister purge, manually sticking open. So you'll get that code, and again, you may get, lean or rich codes. You may get O2s that are stuck lean or stuck rich. And then a lot of times you get a PO456 or a PO457, since it's associated with a refueling event. All common codes associated with it. So, what also can happen here, guy, on the F-150s back in the day, when they first came out with this new style valve in the F-150s, for example, a lot of engine vacuum, V8, the darn things would pull so much fuel through, they would stall going down the road. So it can happen to these too, but more common is the refueling event, no start situation like they're having with this one. Only symptom. These are all common with this new style canister purge valve that's starting in 09. So this one, we're going to show you why it's happening. So what will happen on a lot of these, the 4-cylinders even, is the fuel tank, which you can see right there is plastic on almost all of these models now, will actually suck in and collapse upon itself. And this one's stuck full open, so we're going to show you how it sucks in and starts collapsing and causing this issue. It's pretty wild. You would never think engine vacuum could do that. Okay, so we're going to show you this. We have a nifty little tool on the scan tool here to run an on-demand evap test. As long as the fuel is 15 to 75%, somewhere in that range. So once it goes in and starts pulling it on there, and it closes the evap vent on there, and that valve is stuck wide open, sucking, it's going to collapse the tank. Watch. Okay, so let's go through the initials here. Blah, blah. Make sure everything's off. This is all standard. And we'll do a regular evap test on here, sure. And we'll show you. So it's going to go through the initial checks right now. Engine's off, been off all night long. So our tank pressure is going to be right. Everything's going to look kosher. 2.6, 2.62, 2.65, or right around 0 PSI. Okay? So it's going to check out. We're in range here. Now, once it's started, you're going to see this. So let's say it has a 16 to 20 gallons, a little focus, who knows. Doesn't really matter for this situation. All right, go ahead and start the engine up. Just gonna let it idle. Just gonna let it idle down, stabilize. Hey, go turn the fan on, the exhaust fan. Doing a 68 back here. Yeah, we're back here, we're good. Okay, so now it's gonna go through the test on here. So once it starts pulling vacuum and closes that canister vent, we're gonna go underneath the vehicle. We're gonna show you the tank, how it gets sucked in. You gotta see this. It's pretty crazy. Let it go, go, go. All right, so right now our fuel tank pressure is fine. It's in the range on here. So right now it's gonna raise the RPMs. It's gonna close off the canister vent. And this is already on, so watch, it's sucking it way down already. Look at it. Oh, I missed it. You can see how it's coming back like that a little bit. You see it? Yep. I got it. Here, we'll do that again. And we'll show it a little closer up. I know I kind of missed that. But the thing is stuck so far open that it just kind of sucked the tank in immediately and was already in the vacuum. So it kind of freaked out and shut itself down. Okay, so we're gonna go through this once again real quick on here. I'm gonna crawl my butt underneath there. Go ahead and start it up. So what you're gonna notice is right now, because the canister vent is open, whatever it's sucking, it can kind of handle. Once the evap test goes and it closes the vent in the tank and that canister purge is constantly full open, look at this. You'll see the whole thing getting sucked in. Raising the RPM, starting the test. It's gonna close that vent. Woo! Now it's starting to pull fuel through and it dies. It's hard to tell, but the whole tank, I mean, a good 2 inches, I would say, it just starts sucking up and collapsing upon itself. So that's why it's happening. It's really squeezing in on itself. And the fuel's coming up through, the raw fuel's coming up through the evap purge line, which should only have vapors in it. It's pretty wild. But it'll collapse the tank, no sweat. Pretty crazy, right, guys? So we're gonna go ahead and change out this canister purge valve on here and just run the same evap test to verify, number one, that it works properly, and that the tank and the rest of the system holds vacuum, all that good stuff for a IM240 test on there. But I just want to show you guys how badly these things can get stuck open, even with the small line here, pulling all that engine vacuum at a lower RPM like that, how it can suck in the tank and cause that issue with the fuel getting into there and a no start after a refueling event. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's common even to this day. Even to this day, with the new models coming out, we're still seeing it. But 09, you know, through 13, I would say, the most common years, these things were happening all the time, failing, still changing them to this day. And the thing is, these new ones, yeah, they're better, but you'll be changing this probably another 2-3 times before the end of the life of the vehicle. But that's what it is. It's a simple fix. It's a little buried in here, but it's a simple fix in the end. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost too much. No big deal. That's all for now. See you guys next time.